YouTube, what it do, man? How y'all doing? Midlord TV, we back with another reaction video for y'all. Look, man, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna keep this introduction short. I got 3 videos I uploaded last week. This past weekend, y'all go check those out. 3 divorce court videos I uploaded. We got another divorce court reaction right here. And nah, the lady that's on divorce court, I'm familiar with her for doing explicit content, stuff like that. And she's actually on divorce court. And I'm just like, man, she's still clout chasing, man. Clout chasing is a drug, but you know, she's not using the name that people know her for. She's using her government name, so you know, we're not gonna know her as her stage name. But I ain't gonna waste too many of y'all time. 3, 2, 1.
Miss Edwards says Mr. Jeremiah's addiction has turned their relationship and their family upside down. She says this is his last chance. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge start presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, this is the case of Edwards v. Jeremiah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Edwards and Mr. Jeremiah. We're glad to have you here in divorce court. Thank you for trusting us with your case. I'd like to welcome everyone here. Today, we're going to look at another case that has a lot of stakes in the ground. There's an allegation that drugs have really put this couple at a crossroads. Let's see what this is all about. I'm going to come straight to you, Ms. Edwards. Why are we in divorce court?
Well, Ms. Judge Star Jones, in divorce court today because I'm fed up. I'm at my wit's end right now. I've been like dealing with, you know, Juan for a couple years now, and right now I feel like what he got going on, his drug addiction, his substance abuse, his alcohol abuse, like, and just the mental health meltdowns that come with it, I'm done with him. And I'm here today for him to get drug tested and checked and to see if he's done with this too, because if he's not and his drug test comes back and it comes back positive, my children and I are gone. Poof, vamoose, deuces, out of here.
Well, in the words of my baby sister, Mr. Jeremiah, point blank, period. That's exactly what she's saying. If you can't step up and show her that you are serious about this relationship by not being a substance abuser, she wants to be out. What do you say to all of that, Mr. Jeremiah?
I would say to that the reason I'm here today is because, you know, I've shown her in the past that, you know, it's something that it's like I show that I love that. Really, I love them. I love, you know, my wife. I love, you know, my son, my kids. I don't love drugs. You know, I want to leave them behind. You know.
So before we ask one question, let me ask you straight up: are you still using right now?
I've been sober for about 3 months now.
Okay,
so
congratulations.
It's not a long time, but thank you.
I'm happy to hear that.
I appreciate that. A little bit, but.
Miss Edwards, I saw you gave a side eye because you're not so sure. Why don't you take me back to when you all first met, and then what led us to get to this point?
Well, yeah, I am not so sure because it's like, to me, it's given nasty cycle, like repetitive behavior. So
it's what I like to call junkie shenanigans sometimes.
Yeah, okay, you said it. I was thinking it, you said it.
Okay.
Well, basically, you know, him and I met a couple years back, like in 2016 or whatever, we met. And we had a long distance relationship or whatever. Basically, I met him because he slid in my DMs. I'm not even gonna lie, he slid in the DMs. And I was like, look at me. A lot of dudes slid in my DMs. I don't mean I answered them. I'm confused. So I don't really answer DMs like that. I'm like, okay, if I answer every dude that slid in my DM, I'd be, you know. Anyways, but, you know, I decided to answer his DM. And it was an accident, too, when I picked up the FaceTime call on DM. Because, you know, Insta, they do FaceTimes now at this point. You know, I answered, I said, who? And I was like, ready to balk on him, like, get out of my DM. And then I answered, and he was fine. Your Honor, he was fine. I said, this who I've been ignoring all these months and stuff he been hitting me up. So I heard him out. And we met like that, and, you know, fast forward, we decided, you know, friends. We went from friends for a while. I was like, court me, let's talk, let's get to know one another. But I was pregnant, you know, as well during the journey or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I was respecting the fact that he didn't care about that. And, you know, he knew that I wasn't involved with, you know, the sperm donor that I was with, that I had the baby with at the time. And he was willing to take full responsibility of everything. And I was like, you know, you a strong man and I want to, you know.
So you all started dating while you were either pregnant with or just having given birth to
I just started
a baby.
Yeah.
Mr. Jaramillo, you decided to take on that responsibility?
Man, Juan, you know what this girl is known for, bruh. For y'all that don't know, she is a explicit content creator. You know, she was one of those, she's a stripper, and put it out there, she's a stripper. And, you know, of course she's gonna have a lot of DMs because guys are DMing her, you know, saying, hey, you're beautiful, and wanna get at her. Now, Juan, she was pregnant by another man and you still decided to wife her? Man, opposites do not attract, bro. This guy was made for her. This guy was intended to be in her life. You know, she's a stripper, he's a former drug addict. Match made in heaven.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Knowing full well that you might have to deal with a baby daddy situation?
Yeah, I do because, you know, in my mind, like I'm the big dude. So like, you know, he was not really something that worried me because that's, you know, she's the woman I want.
Excellent.
Know? And so I don't really think about that. Like if I wanted.
So this is sounding a little bit like flowers and roses and little baby bunnies and everything is everything. But then, Miss Edwards, you say something changed.
Yeah, well, basically, like, my whole thing is I was raised in foster care. I was raised with, you know, other people and family and things like that or whatever the case may be. So I never really got the full concept of family, love, and, you know, things like that or whatever without the abuse. So now, me getting with him and him moving, he wound up leaving Tennessee and coming, making it from long distance to moving to Brooklyn with me and New York or whatever to start something, to be a stepfather figure to my children or whatever, and just be together with me or whatever. And basically, like...
When did you discover there was an issue with drugs?
So the first time that I discovered that it was an issue with drugs was when we went on our first date. He had just got into town or whatever, his first couple days, like his first two or 3 days in town or whatever. And he was like, I'm going shopping. You know, he woke up with good energy. I was like, damn, you know, I really never had a guy stay with me. And it's like, I'm going food shopping for this house. I'm going to get a couple of other things. I'm coming back and get something for everybody. And he really went. He came back, had groceries for everybody and everything. I'm thinking, this is my dream man. I love it. He even had a jury, like, look, close your eyes. I was like, close your eyes vibes. Like, I'm thinking I'm living in awe. I closed my eyes. He opened his attendance rate, so he got me whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, you buying things. So now he said, I want to take you on a date. So I'm like, you know, I'm thinking steakhouse. I'm thinking, you know, big old lobsters. You know what I'm saying? Like
tennis bracelet to make you think that, okay?
Right. I said, yeah, we're gonna eat some lobsters. You know, Lamborghinis.
He was driving a Lamborghini?
No, I thought we was finna eat some Lamborghinis or whatever. You know, the noodles. Well, whatever. Anyway, I thought we was eating some fancy stuff, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking we was going down. But he just wanted to go to a burger
spot. It just hit me. You mean linguine.
That's the one, yeah. Okay.
Why don't you just say pasta and we all know what you mean?
Some pasta.
Okay.
Right. The noodles turn lots of pasta. Like
gotcha.
The pasta.
Okay,
right.
So what happened on the date?
He said, no, babe, I want to go some burgers. So I'm like, you know, I was thinking bigger, but, you know, I could do burgers because look what you just did for the house. I mean, you know, got to respect a trying man. I love a trying man, you know? So I'm like, yo, let's go get some burgers. So that's what we did. We went to the burger spot. So we ordered the food or whatever. We get to the table or whatever. And as soon as the lady, she brings, you know, like while we ordering or whatever, before we like go sit down to wait for the food, we ordering at the front cashier or whatever, and he got his card and he's paying, he's Big Willie, he's just swiping that card away that day. So I'm like, yeah, guys, swipe. So he swiped, he paid, so I'm standing there, whatever, we get the receipt, so we stand there. So I'm waiting or whatever, so the lady said, y'all can go to the table right there. So I'm like waiting for him to move. I look down, he's still standing there. He fell asleep. You know, like how they have like the little glass things right there, he had pig nose like this. He fell asleep on the glass. That's how hard his face was in it. And I was like, yo, wake up, what's up, what's good with you? And he was like, oh no, I'm fine. So I'm thinking like, am I dating somebody with sleep apnea or something? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like narcolepsy? Narcolepsy was like, that's what I'm thinking at first, you know?
Narcolepsy.
Right, I'm thinking that. But then like, he like, no, I'm good. So I'm like, I'm tripping, I'm just bugging, I'm tripping. So we go to the table, we sit down, whatever. So now the food comes, so we got both the burgers there, whatever case, and we be sitting there, we talking, we really getting it, we really intertwining on ourselves and one another's selves, whatever, you know?
What happened?
So I go down to
Yo, she talking like a motherfucker. Yo, she can't even get to the point of the story she talking about. She just man, she should be a rapper, kid. She'll get busting rounds and run for her money the way she talking so fast. She talking fast and she not even getting to her point. That's crazy.
I go down to like, you know, like eat my burger. So when I look over to him, he sleep in the burger, ketchup, all on his nose, all on his mouth, mustard. And then I tell him to wake up again. When I tell him to wake up again, he move and he dropped the whole Sprite all over my whole dress. My whole clothes is all wet now. I'm mad. I'm like, yo, I'm done with the whole date. I just want to leave. He ruined it.
Hold on. Just so that I'm clear, you had an expectation that you were going to a fancier restaurant, but then you ended up going to a fast food joint. You ordered your food. He fell asleep while ordering the food and then fell asleep while eating the food, which made you think that something was going on with him. Is that a fair summary of what occurred?
Absolutely.
Mr. Jaramillo.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
So yeah, I do remember that day. I do. Like, to be honest, I was intoxicated. Like,
to the point where you're falling asleep?
That's the thing. Like, I tell her a lot. Like, you know, you say it happened, like, and I'm sure it did, because, you know, when you're a little bit too intoxicated, you know, that happens. But I honestly don't remember that well.
But that scares me more than anything. That you don't remember having fallen asleep 2-3 times in the middle of a date?
I kind of vaguely remember her like waking me up or something like that. But like, as far as like me like literally like my face like falling into like some food or something, like that's how, I don't know, maybe it did. But, you know, I've apologized to her before about that.
So what kind of intoxication were you under? Because that was date one. What was that?
Right. I was so I had a Percocets addiction. You know, so the Percocets, what they do is, you know, they'll put you to sleep, whatever. And
sir, you know, they gave me Percocet after open heart surgery.
Oh yeah.
That means where they cut your chest open and disconnect your heart. So that's the kind of very strong drug they gave after open heart surgery.
When you drink it with 2 bottles of Grey Goose, it's different.
Oh my.
By yourself. So yeah.
It's a wonder that you were able to walk around. Yes, okay.
She's a bird, man. She gonna flock to the money. And you know him, you know, he got it tight. He probably like big women, you know, he's a skinny guy. You know, all these, you know, plus size women, they like a skinny man. And she found a man that's willing to raise her kids, that does not, and he didn't have an issue dating her while she was pregnant, you know. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the baby, I'm thinking that's his kid, because the baby's, you know, fair-skinned, you know, light-skinned, and then, you know, that's not his baby whole time, but you know, she's 39 years old. It's hard out here. Where is she gonna find a man her age range or whatever that's gonna step up and accept her kids? You know, there are probably dudes out there, but she's not picking them as options.
It was like having an extra child. Like, come on. Like, seriously, I got 3 kids, now 4.
So,
like, you know,
Miss Edwards, you know, I'm gonna come to you because I'm gonna keep it real. If this is the first date, why was there ever a second?
Well, to be honest with you, he had told me that he had an anxiety issue and that he was taking over-the-counter medication. And that they were prescribing him, you know, various pills, you know, Percocets, Xanax, whatever, all that stuff. They was prescribing him to get through his anxiety and his anxiousness and, you know, just depression.
They don't give you Percocet for anxiety.
See, and I don't know that because I'm not a pill person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a pill person. So I don't know about that. I'm not a narcotic person. I suffer from those are my triggers, drug addiction, because I watched my mother literally be on drugs and all 4 of her children be separated in the system.
So I'm surprised, Miss Edwards, I'm absolutely surprised that you would bring that into your home, having been through it as a child and knowing what the ramifications are.
She got 4 kids.
And you don't like that. The fact that you don't even know the difference between Percocet and Xanax, which is fine because you're not a druggie. So I'm looking at you wondering, why would you invite someone that you knew had some level of drug issues into your home, ma'am?
Well, to be honest with you, the thing is, like I said, I'm not really in the know when it comes down to that stuff, and more so, I was unknowledgeable about the level of pill addiction.
That is an excellent point, because a number of people don't understand that you can be addicted to drugs that were prescribed by a doctor, that were prescribed for one reason, but then people are using them for other reasons.
Right, and then here I come off being an angry black woman because I want to be mad at my man, my husband, and beat him up and go crazy on him because he's taking his medication. We already got a stigma of being angry black women for every little thing, so I wasn't trying to be mad at him. Like, just get out. Had this man come all the way across the world from Tennessee to stay with me. You understand what I'm saying? Fast forward, we wound up having our own child together. We got a 14-month-old
I'm going to come over to Mr. Jaramillo. Mr. Jaramillo, you weren't honest with Miss Edwards in the beginning about what was going on with you and drugs. Am I correct?
I mean, I feel like I was pretty honest from the jump because, you know, I was always telling her, you know, I smoke weed, you know, I take Molly, I sip lean, I take perks and all that.
Mr. Jaramillo, what was going on in your life that you needed to self-medicate?
If he was honest about, doing these things, what's up with all these reactions she's giving into the court now?
With Percocet and Molly and weed and et cetera.
I mean, I don't know. It's like I'm getting all these ooh-ahs, but like, you know, back when I was coming up,
Don't pay attention to anybody else.
It was pretty normal, man. Like, you know, I guess now people are a little bit more like health conscious and things like that, but just me coming up, you know, like it was just kind of like tossed around, you know, like.
Where was this normal at, in a backyard with the hillbillies? Because when I'm in corporate America, New York, it is not normal to take all them drugs. I'm just saying.
Miss Edwards, one moment. No, you have a right to be frustrated. But Mr. Jaramillo, you and I are going to have this conversation because if this is a problem, we need to resolve that before you even deal with a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got to get healthy.
Yeah, well, I want to get clean. I don't want to continue to, you know, I love my family. I don't love drugs.
Okay,
I feel like I have a problem with drug addiction, but I don't love drugs. I love, you know, my wife and I love my kids, so I want to leave them behind.
So what I'm saying to you, that is not normal. So see, one of the things you have to do when you're trying to battle something and get through it and get over it is acknowledge your part that you play in it. You see what I mean?
Oh, and I acknowledge it.
So what I'm
much.
saying is, it's not just passed around. What was going on in your life? What were you feeling? What was happening emotionally that made you want to self-medicate? I'm asking about you, sir.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, like, you know, I think people hide behind that, and I think it's the fact that I just enjoy the high. And if there is a reason that's underlying, I don't know what it is.
That's fair.
And I want to be a real one and just say that, but I don't love them enough to where I would swap them out and just choose them over my son, over my kids, and my wife. That's also like the mother of my son. I wouldn't do that.
Hey, I need y'all to let me know if y'all think he's intoxicated right now. Drop intoxicated in the chat if y'all think he's intoxicated right now.
I'm listening to you, and I want to hear from Ms. Edwards how this choice of yours has manifested itself in your lives, because everything from Valentine's Day to your son's birthday has been impacted. Why don't you share with the court?
Yes, I was doing my job as a partner, cleaning up the house or whatever, and I go and I'm making up the bed, I flip the sheets, I see 2 pills fall out the blanket, and at that time, my youngest child is 1 year old. So it's like, I come to him and I approach him or whatever, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I would never do that again, I apologize. And I said, next time you getting out, I'm not dealing with this because I don't want to go to jail for my 1-year-old popping the ecstasy pill. That could kill them. This is your last time. There are no 3 strikes. Your last time.
Okay.
I see something else like this in my house, you gotta go. And surely, moving forward, a couple weeks later or so, again found it. And I said, you gotta go. So
what did you find 2 weeks later?
Some more ecstasy pills.
So I'm gonna
on the floor by the bed this time.
Now I'm gonna turn back to Mr. Jaramillo. You said that you love your wife and you love your son.
Yes,
more than you love drugs. But clearly, drugs were winning that right then.
You know, these are things that happened maybe like 3 years ago or so. So
you're saying this is not current information?
it's kind of old information, but it doesn't matter that it's old. It's still a validated
Our son's
reason.
birthday just passed in November. This is current. Like in the average drug addict mind, when they do stuff to you, it could be like literally a month ago. It could be like literally it happened like a month ago. They'll be telling people like it happened 10 years ago. No, this recently happened. I went on Valentine's Day with him, thinking we were gonna have a great time. You know, I went because they got my favorite lemon pepper wings at the spot, so I went to go get my lemon peppers. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Like, so I have him go. I go there all the time. Now I can't even go back on that block no more.
What
I'm
happened?
embarrassed because we get into it. We having a good time. He's sober. He's like not drinking or whatever. I'm sitting there eating with him. He says, hey, I want to go outside and go smoke my black and mild a little bit because he was having a black and mild thing at the time. I was like, cool, go ahead. You can't smoke inside. So he goes outside, and while he went outside, after 10 minutes passed, I'm still eating. I hear people saying, yo, he crazy. Yo, he's going crazy outside. So I'm laughing because I'm thinking it's somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's crazy. So after like 20 minutes, I said, he still ain't come back. Let me go look check. So I stuck my head to the door. He's crazy. Everybody was talking about him. He was outside flipping, punching the wall. His fist was so bloody, bleeding, like dripping down blood. He was like, they stole my phone, get away from me. He even shoved me. I was like, yo, what's wrong with you? He was like, they shoved my phone. When I looked, the liquor bottles, he had snuck to the liquor store and bought 4 nips of Grey Goose, and he had drunk them real fast, and in the midst of that, lost his cell phone in the liquor store. He came back and he was bugging out having an episode like somebody stole his phone and was punching the wall. He embarrassed me.
Next time on Divorce Court.
I do drugs.
Hey, yo, man. Hey, he irresponsible, bro. He can't even take his drugs responsibly. Yeah, he's an irresponsible guy. They'll call DCF. They'll call CPS on this woman so fast that she will never get her kids back because she knew this guy had an issue with drugs. And, you know, she said, oh, well, you know, he gave me the prescription excuse and whatnot, but look how he's, you know, acting with his drugs. He's just letting them just sit anywhere, you know. I'm going to comments, few comments, and then we're going to get into part 2. Oh my gosh, she takes forever to tell a story. Yeah, she talks too much, bro. She talks too much. I thought we was going to go eat some Lamborghinis. You mean linguine. Man, you married a girl that don't even know how to, you know, say linguine, man, Lamborghinis. She's a clout chaser. She knew what she was saying. Where is Judge Mathis when I need him? Oh, God. When Judge Star screamed what happened, I felt it to my core. Yeah, she talked too much, bro. Last comment. I'm not even 60 seconds in, and I think he high as fuck. See? That gets a like right there. So, look, stay tuned for part 2. I'm going to work on that while I work on part 1. All right? Guys, I uploaded 3 videos. If you haven't seen them, please go watch them. Go leave a like, comment, subscribe. And we're going to get into it, okay? Part 2 on the way.